Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Titan Muscle and Mind. Today I've got a special guest, grand finalist with the Bulldogs, Braith Anasta. How you going, mate?
Thanks for
joining us. I know how busy you are.
Too easy, mate. I train here often, so it's not too hard for me.
Can I say something first?
Yeah.
I didn't tell you this off camera. But mate, I love you on Fox Sports.
Oh, thank you very much. Cheers.
And when I was doing these podcasts and these videos, there's always guys you want to model yourself around.
Yeah.
And one of them is Cameron Williams because he trains here.
He's one of the best too.
And one of them's you.
Oh, thanks, brother.
One of them's you. Like, honestly, because I've followed your career right throughout. You know, I mean, all my mates went for the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And one of my good mates, who we both know, Jim Dimmick, was there for a while.
Love him. Yeah.
But I didn't know him during those days, so I didn't like Canada because all my mates went for it.
Yeah, you're a Manly man, aren't you?
I was a Manly man.
Oh,
and the thing with Manly is no one likes us. So I was cool with that,
Good
right?
point. It's true.
I was cool
Especially
with
at the moment.
Yeah, I was cool. I know. Well, you'd know what's going on there. It doesn't look too good.
Yeah. No, but I'm lucky. I do what I do with Fox Sports. Cameron Williams, someone I look up to, and I see him training here. I've been lucky enough to step out of footy and made the transition into commentary, and it's been a smooth one. But I did put in a lot of work early days when I was playing, but no, it's been awesome. I'm very lucky to have the job I do have.
Were you like, during your footy career, were you like always going to transition into the media?
Yeah, at a young age, because I was thrown right in there, 17, 18, and I got a lot of media attention at a young age. And that wasn't through it wasn't like I wanted it. It just happened, I reached first grade at the age of 18. My uncle was George Piggins, who was the president of South. There was a lot of speculation about me when I burst onto the scene at a young age. So I kind of went through the media and the ups and downs of it all so early that I become better at it, and I become comfortable in front of the camera. And as I said, I had so many good times and so many bad times that I felt comfortable and within myself and talking in front of the camera. And it's been the best thing I've ever done.
Like I see you in front of the camera, right? And you do you think starting early, in 2000, like you burst onto the scene and you're like this next sort of Brad Fittler, right? They have you touted as the next Brad Fittler, right?
That was the story, before my first ever game.
That's right, and I remember watching and you were killing it, right?
Yeah.
Then obviously the salary cap saga happened. You lost all your points, and then obviously the Coffs Harbour thing, right? You got to be pretty resilient to get through all that at a young age.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
Well, my family, my mum, very tough times. It's people don't really see what you have to go through as a professional athlete, but also in dark times like that, your integrity gets questioned. People really attack you personally. They don't know you. They only see you for what is written in the papers or what they see on TV. You're earning good money. You live in the dream. You're in the eastern suburbs. They just look at you like you got the dream life. When this all happens, you come crashing down pretty quick. It was tough. I wanted to, and everyone says it. It's a bit of these days I feel like a bit of a dickhead saying it because a lot of you speak to a lot of athletes and footy players and they go, at some stage I wanted to retire, but it's true. I remember one day I went through the Coffs Harbour stuff, which was a team thing that we went through, which was very traumatic as a side, not so much as an individual, but as a side. Yeah. The salary cap was really tough because we won 17 games in a row. We were going to win the premiership. Roosters supporters may disagree, but we'd won 17 in a row. We were on fire. I couldn't see anyone else beating us. Yeah. We got caught cheating the salary cap. I was the face of that. Yeah. I was actually getting paid from a third party, which I didn't know. Yeah. In my account, I was just getting paid my salary. I didn't check where it was coming from, which I don't think many people would. It was called the Oasis at Liverpool, but I didn't know that. And the chairman rings me the night before. Yeah. The story was about to come out, and he goes, "Oh, Braith, mate, nothing to worry about. But tomorrow there's just going to be a little article in the paper, and it's just about the salary cap." And I'm like, "Okay, no worries. Thanks. Thanks for giving me the heads up." A little did I know, it was my face on the front page of the Herald the next day. I mean, it was tough times. I struggled really emotionally. I lost a lot of passion for the game, and at a young age, it was very difficult. Yeah.
In those moments, obviously your family helped you out. Yeah. But what about your manager and your coach? Were they big support during that time, or Was it because there was so many players? How does the coach get around them all?
It's hard. Steve Folkes, who, God rest his soul, he only passed away a few, and mate.
How was that? Let me ask you a question. Let's go back.
Yeah, we'll go there.
Let's go back a step. How was that? Because he played a pivotal role in your career.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it is. It's a lesson to everyone, especially in the fitness industry. No matter how fit you are, how good you feel, is to get yourself checked. He had a heart attack. The fittest guy you'll ever meet in your life. Unbelievable, disciplined. His food very regimented. This guy hardly drank. He ate the right foods. He trained his ass off, and he was disciplined. Great attitude. He's an inspirational guy when we played, but it is a lesson there to be learned. You got to get yourself checked out. But that was pretty of a shock to me. And Stephen Folkes, one of those guys that, at the time, you underestimate the influence he had on you. And I know a lot of us did. We're all young, up and coming. We all thought we were all, pretty good at the time, winning premierships and winning games at will. It was at ease, But that was all because we had the belief and all the rest. But he knew how to manage us. He never put pressure on us. If we lost the game, he wasn't the type of coach that would come in throwing chairs and blowing up and swearing and it's your fault, why'd you do this, which happens. He'd come in and go, don't worry boys, we'll get them next week. Which doesn't happen too often, but he had that trust in the group, which then made us perform and give that trust back, which is a big thing as a player and a coach,
Did he get sacked while you were there?
No, that was after me. That was after me, yeah.
Because obviously he's won the premiership and then the wheels started falling off a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because you had like Willie Mason there, anyway, to Sonny Will Williams. But he's had a lot of big sort of name players. Is that, as a team without the coach, is that hard to manage as individuals?
It is, and that's why.
Is the egos?
Egos, and because every player thinks they deserve more than what they get, and you can't all fit it under the salary cap. If you look back on it, you'd like to think players would take pay cuts to stay together and have that core group and be successful for a long period of time, because it ends up costing you in the long run if you don't perform. When you get sacked, you're not worth the market value you were. Melbourne are the best at it. I mean, look at Melbourne. The players they've got, they manage them. Credit to the coach and also their staff. But for us at the time, we were young. We had Willie re-signed on a big deal. Then he pulled out of that deal. Sonny signed a massive deal, which then meant that a few of us had to move on. I had to move on. I went moved to the Roosters, but I didn't want to leave. But I had to. The salary cap, there was no room there. Then he took off and went to rugby. So that was disappointing for a lot of us, because we'd had to move
for him
because he'd taken up the salary cap. But that's life, mate. It leads us to the path, and you just make it your own.
Those relationships at the time, they're like, when that happens, they're like rough, right?
Yeah.
Over time, obviously, you guys are mates now, and you mend it because you realise you were young. You probably didn't have the foresight to make the right decisions, even though you got a manager there.
Yeah.
The manager's out there to look for the best deal for you, and sometimes it's not the best deal as a whole for the individual.
That's right.
Did you find it hard?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of. The older you get, the more mature you get, and the less you learn that to not hold grudges and not to let the little things in life get to you. I mean, you have a lot more experiences as you get older that they're only really small and they're just part of the process, and you don't take it personally as you get older. I think that's pretty what I like the way that I look at it now. It's just part of the process. I mean, it's difficult decisions that need to be made by everyone at the time. You just can't take it personal. You just got to move on, and we're all really close now because we look back at those times and how successful we were, and we took it for granted. We thought we were just going to be invincible forever, and it doesn't happen. All of us at some stage since then, maybe not all of us, Sonny's done pretty well, but everyone else at some stage has hit rock bottom and has just realised how good we were and how good we had it,
Let's go back to rugby league players, right? You're fortunate, but you worked hard at it to be a Fox presenter. But a lot of players don't have that luxury. And you talk about a lot of players falling off, you know what I mean, and dropping off. Was that a big part back in your day where you've seen a lot of players drop off because off the radar? Because now they've got more programs. But do you think players today don't take advantage of those programs?
Definitely.
Because were those programs in back then?
They weren't back then. A lot of guys still struggle to this day. It's very sad because a lot of people don't realise that rugby league players, and especially back then, some of them are on 70, 80k a year, mate. And they're And then the top echelon back then are on $500,000, but it's a lot different now. But so these guys are on your TV screens. They're heroes, idols. Everyone's looking up to them. But your mate, the carpenter, builder, or the bloke on the walls is earning more money than them.
Yeah.
But no one knows that. You're right?
That's right.
So they play 10 years of first grade rugby league, and then all of a sudden they got no house, they got no job, they've got no. A lot of them go through tough times with their family. They can't deal with not being a professional rugby league player anymore. They struggle with their relationships and their families. They've got kids. They get divorced. Like I see so many sad stories of blokes that I played with that are just in no man's land now. It brings in depression, suicide, all those sort of things come into play. These days, a lot's changed. They do have programs. That's why I was adamant that I would set myself on the right path and give myself that transition and make sure I wasn't one of them. But I worked hard at it, and there's opportunities now for that now. At Fox Sports we cover every game live, 8 games live a week. Yeah. We got a lot of magazine shows, so there's opportunities there. And I tell all the kids now and all the young players, mate, just come and do some work experience. Yeah. Just come and do a under 20s game or a reserve grade game, or just put your foot in the door. Yeah. Get that experience, and then there's opportunity there for you afterwards. But the NRL have programs, so the Holden Cup under 20 sides, they need to actually go to either university or have an apprenticeship or do a TAFE course, or else they can't play. Yeah. So that's a big thing. Yeah. But there's ways around it. You got to be on top of it. It's tough. It is really tough. You
got to have some sort of discipline, right? It seemed like you overcame adversity, you overcame challenges, but you had a discipline about you, right? Where do you think that discipline came from?
I've always had a drive, always. I spoke to you about it before we come on. My old man passed away when I was 15. He committed suicide. So I had tragedy really early on. Yeah. So I had to deal with, looking after my old lady and family, and just things like that made me stronger as a person and made me more determined. And, it's about looking at the positives, but also, you can go one way or the other. All of us have tough times in life. Everyone.
Yeah, 100%.
You can go one way or the other. You can feel sorry for yourself, which is being brutally honest. You can feel sorry for yourself and go, you know what, throw the towel in. Fuck. I've had enough. I can't deal with this. Which is some people struggle more than others, and I respect that. But really, you just got to get on with it, mate. And there's a lot more people who are unfortunate than us, who have been through more than us, that have more problems, more issues. And it's life short. You got to make the most of it. You want to have kids. You want to have family. You want to, you just want to have a nice life. And to do that, you got to put up with the shit, and you got to move on. And just it's a bit more, could be brutal, but that's how I see it.
And look, it's part of the process. Really. It is. Like if you look at everyone that's done well, and have a look at your career, right? Anyone that's done well has gone through a lot. I don't know anyone that's had a smooth ride that's done really well. And if you look at everyone on your panel on Fox Sports, I guarantee you, all of them have had some sort of path. Yeah. Do you think that there's got to be more sort of education in developing that side? Maybe more stories from the older guys talking about it? Because I think a lot of the times people don't get context. They see the end product of Braith. Yes. But some of these kids are too young to see your early career. What I seen you go through, right? Because I can tell, mate. I go, I know that there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. Yeah. Do you think they need to hear more stories about what the older guys have been through?
Yeah, and I think that does happen a lot more now. So a lot of the older guys who have been through a lot, they try and get them back into the system to help the younger kids out, but also give them an opportunity of telling their story and earning a living out of that. There are a lot of guys that have been through a lot in our game that do come back now and do talk to the younger generation, the kids coming through, and it's great because it sort of gives them an idea of what can happen to you, what's the worst case scenario, and how to deal with different situation scenarios as you're playing your career in first grade. It's a roller coaster. It's a ride that you just got to hold on, and you got to know how to handle adversity, like we've just spoken about. Because at some stage you're going to get it. Even the best of the best, whether it's JT, Cooper Cronk, Cameron Smith, they've had a good ride. But I can tell you now, they've been through a lot, and they still. Their mentality is that they need to succeed. They need to, it's in their blood. So there's going to be times, even when they retire, they're going to struggle because it's been their life forever. How are they going to deal with not playing? How are they going to deal with life after footy? Are they going to miss the game? Are they going to miss that camaraderie, that teamwork? You're on your own. As soon as that last whistle sounds and you've retired, you're on your own.
Well, let's go to the next club you went to, the Roosters.
Yeah.
Because you make a grand final with them.
Yeah.
Right? You do that, the field goal.
Yeah.
Is it extra time?
That was to get us in extra time. So we
that
were
was
one
extra,
behind in the last 30 seconds. That was when the ball went over.
Yeah.
The hurdle was sounding. So it was pretty.
That was against the Tigers.
Against the Tigers, yeah.
So do you kick the winning goal in the extra time?
Kick the field goal, no. Then it went to extra time, and then around the 100th minute. So it's up there, and it's rated amongst the best games ever in history. After that, we couldn't lose. I would have died if we lost that game after that. But Sean Kennedy, he got an intercept off a good mate of mine now, Liam Fulton. And he ran the length of the field, scored it right in the left-hand corner, and that got us into the semi against the Titans, and then we met the Dragons in the grand final.
Like he didn't drop the ball over the line.
Skids, he's got his rocks or diamonds, old Sean Kennedy, so he held on to it that time.
But then was that a high point? Because you weren't expected to make the grand final at all.
No, we made a run. That was a high point, because that was one of those moments where, I never thought, or I doubted I'd get back to into an opportunity to win a grand final. That year we started the year poor, and then we just found this system. We had Todd Carney, Mitchell Pearce on fire. Todd got Dalian Player of the Year, Jake Friend, and we had a real mobile pack. Brian Smith, one of the smartest coaches, footy brains you'll ever meet in your life. He just had us going, and we were full of confidence. That run just led us into the semi-finals, led us into the grand final. We honestly thought we could win it. We nearly did, but unfortunately fell short.
And then obviously the next year you didn't do as well.
No.
You guys struggled, right? And then obviously the wheels started falling off.
Well, we struggled because we just thought it was going to happen. And that's where complacency comes into anything, rugby league, work, whatever it may be. You can never, ever take your eye off the prize or stop working hard or put the hard work in, we just thought, we made the grand final, it's just going to happen the next year. And we didn't change our style, we didn't change our training, we didn't change our game plan, and sides worked us out, and we're back to square one.
You've seen a few coaches get sacked.
Yeah, I've had about 6.
How hard is it for the coaches, and are they that responsible for the team?
I would say it should always. They are. It's the players' responsibility, right? But it's to perform on the field, I believe. Energy-wise, tactically, it's the coach's job, but the players should always turn up at their optimum, peak fitness. They get every opportunity to be fit. They get every opportunity to get recovery, because these days it is just they get the supplements, they get everything. So it's their discipline to get them right for the day. It's the coach's job to man manage. They just need a man manage. That's their job. The players these days. You look at Cronk. Well, I'd say I always go back to Melbourne. Cronk, Smith, Slater. They almost coached the team down there. They did. Cronk's now with the Roosters, obviously, but so that even took a lot of the analysis out of it for someone like Craig Bellamy. But he just knew how to prepare them for the games and how to man manage them, and they loved him. They respected him. Again, he knew how to approach every different player individually, because every personality is different. That's a big thing. You got to look at the coaches who have succeeded over a long period of time and ask yourself why. And there's no surprise that it's because the players love and respect them, and they have a great rapport and relationship with them. As soon as you lose a player or a key player or a team, or you just don't have that rapport with them, you've lost it.
Do those coaches?
Bennett's one of them as well.
Bennett's one of them, But obviously, I'm an avid fan of rugby league, and I watch the coaches a lot, because working this business is very similar to coaching, and the team have got to buy into it, and all that kind of stuff. But when I look at someone like, say, a Des Hasler that had it all right at Manly, and then he had it all good at the Dogs, and then it just fell off. Do you think that the coaches themselves have to learn how to develop with the new crop of people coming through?
Definitely.
Because if I'm dealing with someone from 10 years ago, the new guys are different.
You're right, and you're spot on. You've got a big team here. You need a man manager, make sure everyone's happy and everyone's working hard for you. There's an art to it. I'm sure you know that. And there's a different, the kids of today, or the generation of today, are a lot different than yesteryear, for a lot of reasons. Back in the old days, you know, and when I first come into grade, and I was like, you little soft, you know, you little soft cock, mate. You know, toughen up, mate.
Toughen up, yeah.
You know, mate, I'd get bashed at training.
Yeah.
You know, I trained hard. They flogged me till I'd be spewing in the buckets. My first ever session at the Bulldogs, mate. Like they wanted to break you. You know.
Yeah.
These days, you know, a bit precious.
Yeah,
that's the truth, man. Everyone's a bit precious.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to make sure everyone's happy. And, you know, there's a duty of care. And back in the old days, mate, no one cared about that. You know, and it makes sense, and I understand why it is the way it is today. But there is mentally, I think, people of today are probably not as strong, and that could be a big call. And you know, when I've got kids myself, and I'll need to, you know, deal with it. I'll need to deal with it too. But I think it's a lot easier these days, and there's a lot more people that are a bit more precious than what they used to be. That might be controversial, but I honestly believe that. It's not a bad thing. It's just the way it is.
It is.
I believe.
I remember when I used to play. I'm going to play your level. Jimmy Demick, if he's watching this, is going to but
well, Jimmy
I loved it when the coach at half time would go, "You're fucking playing shit." Like that, mate. Just say to me that I'm shit. And that's enough for me.
Ricky Stewart would throw chairs around you. You fucking cost me the game. You cost me.
Were you there when Ricky was there?
Yeah, I was there. All right. He
I watched Ricky just recently on the Matty John show where he said I went too hard at Craig Wing.
Yeah, I was there.
And he goes, I shouldn't have done that.
Ricky was very passionate, and he was a half, and he was a genius.
Yeah.
So he couldn't understand why people couldn't do what he could do, and he treated everyone the same. You can't do that as a coach. Well, and he's learned that over time. I'm not going to question him as a coach, mind you. He's been very successful. But, I mean, I was there. He was ruthless, relentless, especially with his halves, because it was his position, and he demanded the best. But he was brutal. Brutal.
But the first year that worked, that brutality, because he won it. But then
that was an older generation. That was the guys that can handle it.
Okay, that was the guys that can.
And then again, as times have changed. And that's why as a coach you need to evolve, and you need to react and adjust to that.
Yeah.
You know, and the ones that have are obviously the ones that have got longevity in the game. The others come and go.
I was going to ask you a question. Like, there's a lot of people that work under Craig Bellamy, right? Dean Pay was there. There was a lot of good coaches. Michael Maguire. What didn't they pick up from Craig when they were there? Because they were there for a while. You know what I mean? Like, what did they miss? Because if you're there, because this is how I look at it, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're watching Craig at the front end, but you're not seeing what he does at the back end with the management, with the guys that are doing making sure everything's salary cap compliant. You're not seeing that. You're not seeing, if he's got a psychologist and what work he does. They see all this front end work.
See the finished product.
Do you think they don't see enough of the back end stuff he does?
It's a good question. I think with who have we got? We've got Dean Pay now, who's been there. Who did you just mention then that was there, sorry?
Well, Dean Pay was there, Michael Maguire was there.
But Maguire's had success.
He had success.
He won the premiership with the Bunnies. But hasn't been able to maintain it.
Yeah, no, but I'm nothing against Michael.
No, sorry.
But what I'm saying
not maintain it. That's like, a bit. I know what you're saying.
Like, you lose at a point. When the players lose confidence, the coach goes.
Yeah, I don't. Mate, he's unique. It's. I think that shows how much of a genius he is, and how impressive his statistics, performances have been. The fact that someone like Michael Maguire, but look at the impression and the these are his apprentices who have stepped out. Maguire's won a premiership. Dean Pay's got a job now at the Bulldogs, and to be fair on Dean, and this is no disrespect to the Bulldogs, but he's taken on a pretty tough gig there. Their squad leading into this season, I was worried about them, and they haven't surprised me with their performances. They're a couple of players short of being where they need to be, but that doesn't say that he's not the right man for the job. So there's still plenty of time for him there. But going back to what you're talking about, I think that's what just makes these guys so special. I mean, what is it? What is it that why can't these guys might turn into the next Craig Bellamy down the track? Yeah. But also they don't have Cooper Cronk, Cameron Smith, Billy Slater. I mean that's and you look at the Queensland side, it's similar. They've had a crop of greats in the same side that may never be repeated again. Yeah.
But in saying that, right, Craig got these players where they did, right?
Exactly.
Because no one wanted them.
That's right.
Right? Like he took the players that no one wanted there, right?
He's turned them into
and then he created those guys, right? And then obviously he had Greg, but he's offloaded a lot of players too. That could be great, right?
You know what? And that actually makes me think more about the Josh Addo-Cars and the Vunivalu.
That's what I'm talking about, mate.
You know, he's special. Craig is special. I mean, Vunivalu come from Fiji, had played 5 or 6 first-grade games.
Yeah.
And then within 6 months was one of the best wingers in the competition at Rugby League, which is a sport he hadn't even played. Addo-Carr was at the Tigers struggling for a gig, could hardly play first grade. Now he's on the verge of playing for New South Wales. He has that ability. Slade Griffin was a hooker who played there last year. Now Newcastle is killing it off the back of that. The list goes on with the players that he's turned from just average into superstars.
Yeah.
It's a special talent that only Craig has. Well, a lot of coaches have got it, but it's one that Craig has got. It's a system that I think a lot of us would like to see a book on it.
You want to see the intricacies because I just don't think all those coaches picked up everything. But I think when you got a system and you're flowing, and he seems like he's in a bit of a state of flow. But what he done really well was he got rid of Croft.
Yeah,
and that's not many coaches are making those types of decisions at the moment.
You know what? He can make those decisions, and I think the players respect him that much that they just perform for him. You know, and they don't take it personal. Like a Brody Croft, because he has that such great rapport with his players, doesn't sort of go back and kick stones. He tries to get back there and earn a spot into a side that really is prestigious to be in. He's just got this culture there that is incredible. What they've achieved over the last 10 to 15 years, it is out of this world. I don't know how he does it, but whatever he's doing there, it's working.
Let me ask you a question. We're talking about culture, right? You're at Fox now. What's the culture like that with the people you work with?
They're really good.
Yeah.
I can't speak for any other channel, but we're very lucky. We everyone in there gets along really well. Fantastic people. You know, I think and that's what's making us successful, because, and I'm talking as a group, and Fox Sports has really come a long way the last couple of years. I know we spoke about Cameron Williams, and it's no disrespect to Channel 9. Sorry, Cameron. But we are taking a lot of the viewers from 9, which is our goal. You know,
I'm there all the time.
I'm being brutally honest. You know, that's it. We want to get it. Yeah, on the Sunday, we had the Sunday game, which I was in studio for. Tigers Parramatta was our highest rated Sunday game ever, right? In the history, we took more people off free to air, Channel 9 than ever before. And that's our goal. And it's because we've got a core group in there who are genuine people, who all work very hard at what we do. You know, we get our stats. We do a lot behind the scenes. Is a lot different. We just go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Yeah. We know every player. We know every team's performances, their records. We study and analyse why one team's going to beat the other, why one player's got the edge over the other one. It's to the nth degree, and they give us every opportunity in there to achieve that and be the best that we can possibly be. And that's what we want to be. You know, we want people to turn it on and know that this is the best coverage, and we're going to learn the most off this, and this is going to get us as excited and as pumped up, and as, you know, that's what it's all about. You know, it's about being the best.
Well, I don't watch Channel 1 for that reason, because when I get on there, I'm watching Paul Kent, Ben Ikin, and I watch you guys before the game.
Yeah.
The way he's calling it, like even Michael Ennis last night, when he was talking about...
very honest.
He was really honest, and he had Burgess there.
Yeah.
But you could tell Burgess doesn't get on there all the time.
Yeah.
Because you can tell Michael was just saying the way it is.
Yeah.
And you can tell when someone else is there and they haven't got the stats like you.
Well, that's why Mick's been successful and his transitions have been good as well, because you got to tell it how you see it. You can't sugarcoat it. People see through that. You guys aren't stupid when you're watching the coverage. You get on there and you can't be biased. Yeah. It's, you know, like, mate, I've had people from the Roosters abuse me because I get on there and, you know, I have no allegiance to anyone now. I tell it how I see it. I call it how I see it. Yeah. And we've all got to do that. And if you don't do it, people see it, and you got to be genuine. You got to, you know, if I've got to criticise clubs I've played for, which I have to, I do it. You know, and I tell it exactly how I see it, and that's just how it's got to be done. And that's what we pride ourselves in there on. It can be tough at times, and you can have coaches calling you, and you can have, and your mates, mate. I'm good mates with all the Roosters boys, and Piercy and Jake Friend. You know, and I've got to get on there and be critical of my mates. You know,
Do they message you?
They don't. They respect it. I mean, a lot of times I hope they're not watching. To be honest, like I'll be there.
Can you say something about Jimmy's performance?
Yeah, I'll give Jimmy.
Because apparently he was putting an arm guard before a game.
Jimmy?
Yeah, last week.
All right.
I didn't see it. I was told by Danny, my business partner. He said, "What's Jimmy doing strapping up? Does he think he's going back on the field?"
He's a physio now. He was putting on himself.
Yeah.
What's he been doing?
I don't know.
Jimmy's got amazing potential as a coach. You know, a lot of people think he should be coaching first.
He should have been at the Bulldogs.
He should be. And I'm one of them.
You know why he
Hopefully
should have
gets
been?
his
I'll
chance
tell
to-
you why. When you see the club going through that, you need someone that's in there that understands who's down below, because he knows who's got to come through. And if I can be critical of the Bulldogs, I don't know why they're not giving a lot of young guys a go.
Yeah.
Because apparently they've got a good junior system there. They've got good guys in reserve grade. If you know that you're going through that, why don't coaches blood more people these days when they're going through a bad
They're
trial?
just a bit scared, I think. It's a bit of a safety net. I think, because there is such demand for success so early on. You lose 2 or 3 games, your job's on the line. It's a risk for them. They want to try and pick players who are proven, but it's those who take risks and have belief in themselves and their performances that may benefit from it. But that would be my only reason why they wouldn't blood kids earlier on, especially in their careers, if they're coaches that have just come on board, and that's with Dean Pay, that's definitely the case. But with Jimmy, you talk about rapport with players. The players love him.
Best. I've seen it.
And he's got all the ingredients to be an amazing coach. Hopefully he gets his shot as a head coach one day.
Let's go into your final club, the Tigers.
Yeah.
You finish up there, right?
Yeah.
What I found surprising was you were captain of a previous club. And then, you had to go. You had to go to the Tigers. And you spent 2
years
there?
But it was very checking.
Like?
It was horrible. And that's just brutal. I'll tell it how it is. A lot of Tigers fans don't like it. But, mate, I was at the Roosters. I was off contract. Brian Smith was the coach. And the players weren't happy there. This is brutal, honest. Weren't happy there. I was dealing with a lot of crap. The players come to me. I was their sounding board. I'd go to the coach. I wasn't getting anywhere with him, and I was over it. And I said, mate, I love this club. I've loved being captain. It's a huge honour, but I'm not enjoying my footy. It's stressful. I've got a young family, mate. I can't do it anymore. He's just said no worries. Pretty much no worries. Then I'm talking to a couple other clubs. I didn't want to go, by the way.
Yeah.
But
so you left on your own accord. Almost.
It was a
mutual.
It was a bit of a mutual thing there. I wasn't enjoying myself there. If Brian Smith would have left, I was staying. I would have stayed and signed just even a 1-year deal. But he was staying there. That to me was like not worth it for me. I knew where it was going. It was going that way, and I wasn't. And my footy was going that way. So I'm like, nah. I've only got a couple of years left, a year or 2 left at most. I want to finish. So then Tim Sheens rings me, Australian coach, Tigers coach, mate. I need some leadership and stability in the halves. I'll look after you. My body was, getting towards the end of the career. I was struggling a little bit with my body. I'll look after you training wise. I just need a leader in there to balance out, Farah and Marshall.
Wow.
Because they had their, they had a bit of a. They clashed a little bit, They're mates, but they clashed, in terms of game plans and, So he wanted me in there for that. Anyway, so I went back to the Roosters. I've got an opportunity, 2-year deal. Smithy's like, oh, mate, I might be able to offer you a 1-year deal. But it was just like, mate, if I'm getting a 1-year deal and you're the coach,
I'm going to
honestly, I'm not. I don't think we're going in the right direction. I'll go with I've got to go, pretty much. I had another couple of options, but that was really much where it was at. So anyway, so I signed with the Tigers. Smithy gets sacked from the Roosters. A few months later, I'm like, oh, mate. Robbo comes in, who I was close with, and I'm thinking, oh, this is a nightmare. And to top it off, I go to Bali, and I get a phone call from the Tigers. They sacked Tim Sheens.
Wow.
So I get Mick Potter as the coach of the Tigers.
Wow.
Robbo goes to the Roosters, and Mick Potter comes in and throws me in the forward pack. when my body's was not gone, but like, you know, I'm doing hit-ups and tackling in the back row, and when I was supposed to be there to do a different job, it was a nightmare. And the Tigers were so behind the eight ball, like they were just, and I've said it on Fox, you know, and they take it a bit personal, but it is, I tell it how I see it. It was a rabble. The squad were a mess. They were unhappy. The facilities were diabolical. They didn't give their players every opportunity to be successful. And I'd come from such a professional, amazing club in the eastern suburbs where they did give you every opportunity to be successful. I lived on the, you know, in the beaches. I'm driving to Campbelltown for training. I'm driving to Concord under a stadium where I'm using dumbbells that are 100 years old to do weights. You know, like, you know, I'm not precious. I'm just like, it was just an eye opener, and it was just not a happy time for me. It wasn't, and I didn't enjoy myself, and it shows. And we were legless. You know, we tried hard. I'd always tried hard. That's one thing I don't think anyone could question. But it just wasn't happening. And you know, I always said in my life I had no regrets. That was probably one I did have. You know, when I look back on it, I don't know. If I had my time again, I definitely wouldn't have done that.
But it's so hard to pick what's going to happen because they keep it so concealed what they're going to do.
That's right.
Because they don't want to lose the player coming.
That's right. And also, but it was a lesson for me because I didn't go to the Tigers and I just trusted them. I didn't go there, look at their facilities, you know, look at where they train, who their coaching staff is behind the scenes, what their board was like. You know, I just trusted the Australian coach, which, you know, a lot of people would do. But then when he was gone, it was a rabble, and it was too late for me. I was done. I had to make the most of it.
You know, look, if you could look back on your whole career right now, right, and as we're coming to a close, what would you say were the key factors in having a career where you went through so many ups and downs to now being on Fox where you're doing an amazing job? What do you think are some of the core principles that you need to be able to do what you've done and go through what you've done?
Core principles?
Well, that you live by. What are yours?
I set myself goals and targets regardless. Even to this day right now, I've got a book now where I, you know, just even when I come to the gym, you know, I want to be a certain weight at a certain time. I want to have a certain fat percentage by this certain time. I set myself little targets, and I'm that competitive that I get filthy on myself if I don't achieve them. So my competitiveness definitely got me through a lot. My mentally I'm pretty strong, you know, and that got me through the back end of my career. You know, considering what I'd been through at a young age, that definitely got me through it all. And just driven. I'm very driven. Like, I just want to be successful at whatever I do. I know a lot of people say that. I just need to be. It's just me. It's just ingrained in me. Whatever it is, I want to be the best at it. You know, if I get on the treadmill, I want to get better every time I get on there. I want to try and beat the time. I want to try and make myself go through that pain. I'm not. You know, I was never probably one of the fittest at training. Well, I'd always nearly win everything, but I wasn't naturally fit. You know, like I'd just push myself to a limit that other blokes at training probably didn't go. You know, and that's not. I'm not giving myself. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, blow smoke up my own ass, but it's just like that, you know, I was never naturally ripped up or, you know, bigger, stronger or faster than anyone else. I wasn't fast, you know, but I just worked hard at everything that I did and made the most out of it. And, you know, I think that's what got me through. I didn't reach the heights I could have mentally because I was damaged early on in my career and shot down a lot. Like, I had all the potential in the world skills-wise, and you know, I thought I was invincible when I was a young kid, and I come up with some special plays and special. I've reached, you know, played for Australia and did all that at a young age, you know, and I could have been better, but I let the outside noise get to me a touch. But I still played over 290 games, 10 origins and all that sort of jazz, just through being a competitive bastard, I think, you know.
I reckon the adversities are going to work in your favour later on.
Oh, they're working now.
Like right now, what you're doing at Fox and the amazing work you're doing there.
Thanks, mate.
Because it comes back to get you, like, that competitive nature comes in another area in your life. And then you go, well, you know what, that was all meant to happen.
I'm big on, like, I've always respected everyone. I think if you'll find that anyone I've come across always, I treat everyone the way I want to be treated. You know, I'm big on that. That was my family. Like, you know, I've always been big on that. I respect everyone. We give everyone the time of day, and I think the world's round, and it comes back to you, and it's coming back to me now. Which is good. Yeah.
Well, Braith, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks,
because look, one thing, guys, I want to tell about Braith is before the podcast, he goes, Mets, you can ask me whatever you want, right? Yeah. And like being a professional player like yourself, playing for Australia, representing New South Wales, playing at the pinnacle, going through what you went through, like not many people would like to go there.
Yeah.
But what makes you so good, right, in every part of your career, and even today at Fox and what you do there, is you allow people in your life, and I'm telling you, a lot of people that watch this, and I think a lot of people should watch this, you leave no stone unturned. You put it all out there, and I know for me that we haven't seen the best of Braith because a lot of people have a tough time just allowing themselves to be open, and I done that with my dad passing away, and it's helped me so much. And I said, you know what, I'm doing that forever, and I'm going to just express myself like you did today. And I take my hat off to you because you played for 3 amazing clubs. You had a lot of ups and downs, and fuck, man, you just done so well, man. And I followed your career right through. So
cheers, brother. Thanks
again.
for having me. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much.
There you go, guys. That's another episode. We'll see you next time.